Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy No E here with Bells, and we are the podcast Let's Grab a Drink.
That's right. Tonight we are hosting our Miss Patty with PattyTellsAll.
Hey y'all.
Would we call it a fashion blogger or just a blogger?
Lifestyle blogger.
Lifestyle blogger.
Okay.
All things life.
Man, so I just got introduced to this blogger world maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I am just blown away. Like,
There's a lot of us out here.
We out here hustling. I haven't even drank. What the hell do y'all do? Like, what the hell do y'all do?
So it just depends. Like, there's food bloggers.
Okay.
Lifestyle blogs are honestly cover all things, whether it's your mom, fashion. I'm going to tell you how to set up a backdrop. Like, there's just everything is covered.
Okay.
So now, like, if you're like, oh, I want to do a DIY blogger, you can be a DIY blogger.
Okay.
So it's whatever you feel comfortable with. I started supposedly doing photography. That never happened. So it just turned into lifestyle and food.
Okay.
So if you look at my page, it's like all lifestyle, different like cocktail recipes.
So is it something that you started with photography, started with it, and then realized that you can generalize it a little bit more?
In a sense.
broaden
So
it?
what brought me to it was I do photography, and I was just like, you know what? People ask me where I take my pictures all the time. I'm gonna just do a blog to cover that.
Okay.
But then it turned into more of going to restaurants and seeing murals and doing this, and then me bringing light to all things Houston.
Okay.
So it just became like when people are like, oh, like I get that asked so much. Hey, so what do you blog about? I literally tell them all things Houston.
Okay.
If it's a Houston brand, if it's a Houston company, restaurant event, I want to talk about it. I want people to know about it. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you always, I guess, in a sense, showcase wherever you're at.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. I think that strikes a chord with us because that's kind of the premise of what this is. Like, we want to showcase businesses in Houston. We don't just want to stick to Houston, but of course, Houston is us.
But you have
so
to
we wanna
start somewhere. You know, and I'm born and raised in Houston. I've never lived anywhere but Houston.
Okay.
So,
What side
like
of
when
town?
I go anywhere,
What side of town?
Mission A-Leaf, Mission Bend A-Leaf. I sometimes call myself a Katie mom because my son goes to Katie school. So I'm like, oh, Katie mom. But then the moms piss me off, and I'm like, I will go swat on you real quick. So, but yeah, it's like all things Houston, and I feel like as Houstonians, we have this pride that I think most Texans do, but Houston is just like a whole nother level of pride.
Yeah.
I feel that completely. So you say when you started, when did you start?
January of what year are we in right now?
19.
Okay, 2018. So it's been yeah. So it's been a year and a half.
The way you carry it and stuff, it feels like you would have been doing it for years.
Dude, I feel like I have. No, but yeah, it's just been a year and a half. It just honestly, the first 6 months were so slow.
Well, you try.
I was trying to like and then slowly I started to go to more events, more networking things, and like this year has just been crazy busy. Like I go to at least 2 tastings a week.
Oh wow.
What kind of tasting? What do you mean?
So like restaurants will say, hey, we want you to come out, have dessert, food, entree, everything, and we want you to take pictures, and if you like it, we want you to post about it. I'm like, okay. Like, you're gonna feed me, I'll be there in a heartbeat. I do anything for food, so I'm like, okay. So now it's like I go to a lot of tastings, and
So is that like a food critic almost? I mean,
yeah, and in a sense, but because I cover all things Houston, it flows. So like I'll be at a restaurant and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this food, it's so good, and then I'll post the pictures of the food and I'm like, hey, this restaurant's located in the Heights. You should definitely try it. I definitely recommend it. This is what I had that was my favorite.
I can recognize the reason why behind a business. Like I'm thinking, because if as a restaurant you have a food critic come in, they're just going to talk about the food and that's it.
Yeah.
It dies.
And you bring foodies in and bloggers in, and they're going to showcase the food. Like while I'm there, while I'm there, I'm like, hey guys, like this is their restaurant. Look at the bar. This is their menu. They have a great happy hour. And then I show everything I ate. So I'll take pictures, like I go outside with the great lighting, take a picture of my food, and then I eat it, and people are like, hey, how did you like that? And I'm always honest. If I didn't like it, I'm like, honestly, I like this, but I wasn't a big fan of this. Okay. Because the last thing I'm gonna do is promote something that I wouldn't buy myself, or I wouldn't go there if I wasn't invited. Right. But I feel like that's, not that a lot of bloggers do that. I think we try to stay true to ourselves, but like, I don't want you to come back and be like, I went to that place and it sucked. I'm like, oh, well, I got
want to
paid.
take your word for it.
I got paid to say that, so like, I want to do that.
Okay.
Genuinity pays off.
Yeah,
That's what you're saying.
I try.
Is there a niche that you like? Because you do lifestyle. I mean, it engulfs a lot. You know, like you said, food, lifestyle, home, personal, whatever. What's your one niche that you say, like, you feel it just come naturally?
Probably the food. The food, and then lately a lot of liquor brands have been reaching out to me. You do one, and they all start coming, and then I'm like, bring on the
We need
drinks.
some of that
like
right
yeah, like bring on the drinks.
Y'all realize our podcast is called Let's Have a Drink.
Hey, cheers.
You know.
Yeah, so I think it's been that, and just I love going to the events.
Okay.
It's always like nice seeing like how did you put something together. How does it all twine in? I mean, some people go all out, some people just kind of keep it basic. So it's nice to see like what people come up with, and then just.
What do you mean,
go
like
into them.
events? Like, what kind of events would you?
So like, okay, so next week there's a new tequila that's coming out. This is not sponsored. This is not a sponsored post. It's called Veneno Tequila.
Okay.
So they're launching in Texas in October.
Okay.
So what they're doing is they're going to do a pre-launch party, kind of like a showcase. So they're going to do an all-white Texans party, and then they'll look for bloggers that kind of fit what they're wanting.
Okay.
And they're like, hey, we're going to do this. We'd love for you to come out. Maybe do a couple stories, some sneak peeks so people can see, like, kind of like to raise the hype. So that's where all these events come into play, because these brands and companies are trying to have the next best thing. And in order for somebody to be so interested in it, there has to be hype behind it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's called Venom or Veneno?
Veneno Tequila.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll let you know how it is.
Okay.
I'll save you some.
All right, thank you.
So the whole, for example, the closet sale, that event that I went to the other day, is that part of it? Like, or that was just networking?
That was networking, and it was kind of bloggers getting together to see, like, hey, we have all these clothes. Because a lot of times we do get a lot of clothes. I usually get I get a lot of items and products. I don't get a lot of clothes, but a lot of these bloggers get, a crap ton of clothes. Mm-hmm. And honestly, we wear it once or twice. We photograph it in it, and we're probably not going to wear it again unless it's to an event where we're not going to know anybody and we didn't wear it again. Mm-hmm. So it was a way to get people together, like bloggers together, to sell things and then to give back to a charity.
Right.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like it was a good little mix of items and styles that you can see.
And you can tell, like, there was some that are like a lot more high class. There was like sporty.
Yes.
There was me who shopped at Target, so it was like everything. And it was like, okay, like I see what everyone's like. You get their style, because we all have our different style.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved about it, because you know, I guess we were upstairs, but you have a room full of different types, different styles, but at the same time, it was the same mentality. Mm-hmm. I feel like I walked to one, and everybody could have joined in the conversation and put something into it. And that's how I was. Mm-hmm. I felt like I was turning around, there was someone else that was willing to talk to me, someone else, you know. And my initial question, which is actually a question one of our listeners put out there, was initially, it was like, how do you make your money?
Like, oh, girlfriend.
I know, because I'm standing back and I'm seeing good clothes, but a very good price. Mm-hmm. Very good price. So to me, it's like you're putting in work to come out here.
Yeah.
You're putting in work to set up. You're spending time, but then you're not selling it for like a huge amount of profit.
Yeah, you're not selling it for like $500. It's like, here's, like, literally, I told you, I bought a hat for $5. So it's kind of there's so many different ways to make money as a blogger, influencer. I go like this just because there's so many
bad connotations.
Yeah, I mean, people are like, now I feel like because you see so many bloggers and influencers that you're like, oh my gosh, so-and-so gets free stuff all the time, I want to do it. And it's like, we put a lot of time and work into what we do. Like, when I just to go to an event and post stories, it'll take me like an hour and a half. Like, I'm sitting in my car trying to make it all nice, because if you're paying me to come out to an event, or if I want to showcase something, I want to put my best work out there. I'm not going to hurry up and just post stuff and just be like, okay, I'm done. Right. It's kind of like, okay, I don't want her to come back.
Yeah, you're not going to come back.
So a lot of ways that you can make money is you can work with different companies, and they're like, hey, we want to send you this solo cup. we want you to take really good pictures, and we want you to post it on Instagram, and we'll pay you $150. And if you like solo cups and it fits your brand, then they'll pay you to take pictures. So all companies have a marketing budget, and they realize that because there's so many influencers and bloggers, that they can get 20 bloggers to do their own creative content for this brand instead of paying like $3,000 to one person, to one company to do it.
Right.
So companies are slowly realizing we get more for our dollar if we work with influencers and bloggers.
As far as the price tag, do you set that, or is it depending on the company?
It depends. So companies have different campaigns, and a campaign is basically something that they're wanting to promote, something that they're rolling out. There's some companies that are like, hey, we're rolling out new solo cups, and we want you to take 3 pictures, put 2 on your story, do 1 on your feed for $150. So you can be like, oh, hey, like, sure. Or sometimes you can negotiate.
Okay.
Like, I slowly started negotiating. I hate rejection.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna tell me no, I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. I'll do it. I'll do it anyways. Like, I'm so sorry. I like arguing with you. So I slowly started negotiating, but a lot of times they'll give you a price, or they're like, hey, we have this campaign rolling out. This is what we're wanting.
Okay.
What are your fees? And that's when you have to come up with your own fees.
Okay.
And
intimidating?
yeah, because you want to some people are like this. I'm just kind of like, I don't want to feel like I'm greedy. Like I'm asking for too much, but then that's when you have to think about the time that goes in, the outfits that you have to put together, the makeup you have to do, like
and your time,
in your time itself.
Yeah.
Because it's not just taking the picture; you have to edit it, you have to get it approved from the company to post.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like there is so much more that goes into just posting a picture for a company.
Well, what I was impressed with, you ladies, is the content, like.
We gotta get creative out here.
Girl,
we're over here like doing handstands and stuff.
I'm telling you, like, it says see more, and I'm like, okay, it's just another to-do line, and it's just like, like
Yeah.
But it's interesting. It's very educational.
Yeah.
You're
And those
knowledgeable about
first few lines are, you have to be the most creative, because if you're not,
They're not
just
gonna
gonna double tap
see
that
more.
picture. They're not gonna see more.
Yeah.
Like I have a campaign with Zing Zang right now. What they're doing is rolling out their different mixers, because everybody thinks Zing Zang, they think Bloody Marys.
Okay.
But they have all these different ones, so I have to basically put a caption, and then it has to roll you in, and then be like, oh, hey, by the way, they're on sale. And then give all the details on that. But if I don't get your attention, you're never going to realize that there's a sale, and this is why I'm posting this picture.
Or a discount code or whatnot.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I was very impressed, and I guess it's something for me to aspire to be.
Hey, come out.
I'm telling you,
There's enough room for everyone. I literally tell people that, like, I host a blogger workshop. I was telling Noe, and a lot of ladies, and even guys, they're like, there's so many bloggers out there. Like, how am I going to stand out? And I tell everybody, one, you have your own voice. So you're going to describe something completely different. You're going to photograph something completely different. Like if I gave you this, you'll probably style it completely different than how I did.
Right.
So I tell everybody, like, there's enough room for everybody. It's how much you want to hustle for it, and how much time you're going to put into it. Because it's not an overnight thing where you're just going to post a picture and you're going to wake up with 1 million followers.
So you mentioned you mentioned that when you started off, the first 6 months it was just super slow. And then...
Yeah. Well, honestly, the first year I didn't get paid. I didn't start getting paid for anything until this year. Cool. So I was doing a lot of trades. Like, hey, I'll send you this in return for you to post a picture. So I was doing it all, and I didn't realize... Because in my head, I was like, who am I to be charging these people for this stuff? Like, they're already sending me free stuff. Like, we're good. And it wasn't until this year where one company was like, hey, we'll pay you $100 to do this. And I'm like, oh, you gonna pay me? Like, we gonna get paid now? Like,
So
okay.
you get free stuff apart from, and then you get paid. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I see how it works, and I see the pressure of it behind it too, to get great content.
I'm guessing that has to do also with the strength of your following, right? That's when that comes.
Yes
through.
and no. Like, of course, a company, if they see somebody with 500 followers versus 5,000 followers, but now they're not so much looking at the followers, they're looking at the engagement. Like when you comment on my
Right.
picture, am I telling you thank you, or am I just like leaving it there? Am I engaging with other companies? Like they're looking at engagement. They do look at numbers, but not as much. Before it was like, if you don't have 10K followers, you're not going to get any sponsorships
Right.
and stuff.
Right.
Now it's like friends, like one of my friends told me recently, she's like, hey, like this company reached out to me, I don't know how much to charge. I was like, well, I don't know, like tell them like 100, 150. Well, I only have this amount of followers. I'm like, but look at how many likes you're getting on your pictures and real engagement, like people
Right.
really like your pictures. And sure enough, she lowballed it, and they're like, oh yeah, sure, in a heartbeat. Then she finds out like everyone like triple charged what she did, and I was just like, I told you, like,
Right.
because they're looking at engagement.
Yeah. So
So-
you're saying engaged, for example, they have 100 followers and they're getting maybe like 80 likes.
Yeah, so it's like the ratio, because
Instead of,
that's what
like,
they
one.
do. Like they're looking at engagement rates, not so much followers.
Yeah.
Before it was all about followers, but now companies are
evolved,
starting to
yeah.
realize that you can buy followers.
Exactly.
You can
phishing those fake profiles too.
Yeah, like there's so much that you can do, but you can't hide your comments and your real engagement.
Right.
Like if you're gonna give me a thumbs up, I'm like, don't comment on my picture. Like don't give me a thumbs up. Like let me know you like my blouse. Like you like what we're doing.
Notice.
Yeah.
I'll go
Sorry.
delete my
I know. In my blogger,
put a thumbs up.
in my blogger packet, one of the things is do not just comment emojis. Do not do that because a robot can do it.
Ah.
So then that's not real engagement.
2 emojis?
And there has to be at least 4
I
words.
did a winky face.
I know one of my friends, she gave me like 3 hearts. I called her. I'm like, stop putting emojis on my pictures. You look like a robot. She's like, oh, I was just trying to give you some love. I was like, tell me you love my shirt.
I like the
Look.
comment on this. Sorry I didn't put.
Sorry, I didn't write more. I just put emojis.
That's cool. We did have another question. It was, what was
Do
it?
you have a full-time job?
Oh no, yeah, it was. They were actually really surprised, and I am too. Like how you're super active with your
Yeah.
pages, and you have a full-time job.
And I'm a mom.
So that's 2 full-time jobs. Like,
Yeah,
how the hell do you do it?
a lot of help. A lot of help. So I work for an engineer company, Monday through
Very stressed
Friday.
out.
Yeah, I go in at 7:30, get off at 5:30. My son's father takes Eli to school. He picks him up.
How old is your son? If you
He's
don't mind?
10.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's 10, so he's more independent. He can hold his own, but
It's getting tougher for you as a mom.
but yeah, so
too.
so he's getting older, so he's playing a lot of sports and stuff. So it's all about time management.
Right.
And I'm horrible. Like you wouldn't think that I am, but I'm horrible. Like I overcommit myself.
Okay.
So that's something
You
have
weren't
to
supposed to be somewhere else right now, were you?
be like, oh no, we're good. Well, you saw I was running late because I was at work.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just like, you know, it's just one of those things that you have to prioritize.
Okay.
So obviously my son's on top.
Right.
Like anything that's with him. But I have so much help with him. My mom helps. His dad, like, he's such a good dad. He has him a lot and stuff. And I was telling, like, today he was just like, he followed me on Instagram. He was like, are you picking him up late? I'm like, not that late. And he was like, you might as well just spend the night. And I'm like, no, like, I'll be there. And he was just like, I'm like, just keep it a little bit. I'm like, let me down this one. I was like, I'll be there. So it's all about time management.
Yeah.
And you have to prioritize what's important. Like, you can't say yes to 10 campaigns this week. You
Right.
just can't do it. You have to prioritize what's important. Obviously, my job, my full-time job, is my priority because
Pays the
that
bills.
pays the bills.
Money making it. Then.
Yeah. Like, I like corporate money. It's kind of like with blogging, like you can have a really good month, you can have a good season, a good quarter, and then it can die down. And then what are you going to do then?
Right.
So it's all about prioritizing. And I told I used to go to I have major FOMO. So I wanted to be at everything. I wanted to be at every single event. And
It's a real thing.
I had to learn to say no to things. Like if it doesn't fit my brand or I'm just not that interested, I have to say no.
Was it because you had a bad experience with it? With overbooking?
I was
or
missing my son.
overbooking? Okay.
Because he's at school all day, the time we have together is dinner and then
Weekends,
the
maybe.
weekends if I don't have events. So I started to miss him. I never miss any sportings. I was missing a game and then it became another game and I was like, okay, this is not what I signed up for.
Right.
And I can stop at any point, But when you're really invested, you're like, I'm building something. Like, what can I say no to?
Right.
And not only invested, but I think also committed, because I've noticed just by the interactions between all bloggers in itself is like y'all commit to each other.
Yeah. I mean, we're a community. So,
it is.
like tomorrow,
I really fell in love with it. I couldn't do it. Don't get me wrong.
You probably could. You say no. Like the blogging community in Houston's so amazing. We're all very supportive, and you have your HTX boss babes that they are all about women empowerment.
Yes.
And then you have the Houston Latina bloggers that are like, let's bring all this entrepreneurs, bloggers, influencers together. There's so many communities, and like literally all my friends, except for maybe one, they're all bloggers. Like my friends are my blogging friends, and I've met them because they understand.
Yeah.
They know the hustle. It's not competition. It's community over competition, and it's great. Like I feel like I've made more lasting friendships than I have in a lifetime. So
They won't burn you.
they won't
Gotcha.
put your head.
Moving on.
She just got real personal.
Re-recording conversation. Sorry, guys. We're drinking.
So the events that you put together or you've been a part of, I've like the first time I ever met you or saw you was at the
Boss Babes.
The Boss Babes.
Yeah.
That's right. That was a huge event. I had never, that was the first kind of event that I've been in that magnitude and size. And I actually, we forgot to mention, we are actually hosted by the Montrose Studio. She actually is the one that got me into that. Like,
you know what? Maybe that's where I met you first, because you did something here.
Yeah, we've done something. Well, I think when she first opened up, she had us in her confetti room.
That's what it was. Okay.
And then she invited us to that. I mean, we've been friends with her for a good little while now. But so shout out to the Montrose Studio. What's the biggest event that you've done? Is that it, or has it?
No, my biggest event was my blog-anniversary.
Okay.
So my blog-anniversary was in January, and I was so excited that I made it there.
Podcast everywhere.
No, I'm already because that Boss Babes thing was huge.
Oh no, you're
That
good.
Boss Babes thing was huge.
I mean,
so
they
she's
can
saying
put
that
together.
within 1 year, she made something even bigger than that.
Oh, really?
Right?
No, not bigger than that. There's nothing topping the Boss Babes. No, but like my biggest event that like I've done myself was my blog-anniversary, which I thought it was gonna be something like literally when I sold it to the venue, I'm like, it's gonna be something like 30, 40 people. Nothing. Like 100 people. Like 100 people showed up. It was a free event. I had free booze, and you say free booze. I had my grandma that made like 200 pupusas, and like, I had Taco Cabana that had all of the, the food. They did catering. I had cookies, I had dessert. I mean, I had the blow bar doing braids for people. We had a DJ. Like, it was a party that I was like, this is not what I planned. But it was nice.
What purpose is it? Is it for marketing? Is it for your own person?
So my blog-anniversary was like, I've done this for a year.
Okay.
I've learned so much. I want people to celebrate with me, people that have been there for me for that last year. And it was just supposed to be like kind of like a mixer, and it turned into a party. Like it turned into a big party, but at the end it was like, I think that night I gained like 200-300 followers because everybody. I probably did. No, because everybody was sharing stories, and then people were like, and people had FOMO that they weren't there, and I'm like, yo, I ain't shit. Like, wasn't that big of a deal, but it was. That is what set the standard for all of my events.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, so which I get nervous every single event. They're like, you host so many, why? I'm like, because I feel like when you do something good, that's what people expect from you.
Yeah.
So every time, like, if I don't have a photo booth, or I don't have liquor, if I don't have this, or like, this is not a Patty event. You don't have liquor. Your events always have liquor. They always have this. So you do set a standard for yourself. But I feel like companies have continued, like quick snaps, like y'all are quick to be like, hey, we'd love to, let us know. We'll be there, And I try to keep those relationships, because those are the relationships that I'm like, at the end of the day, if somebody's like, hey, do you recommend somebody for photo booth? Boom.
Right.
Like, you're there for me, I'm there for you, and it's just about building each other.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I felt that at the event. Like I said, I've only really been to it, but the traffic to the pages, the interaction mostly.
Yeah, and we try to give
so strong.
And I always tell like everybody, like if you're gonna do this, do not promise people or brands stuff you cannot commit to.
Yeah.
If you like, you can I can't tell you, hey, can you be at my event? Everybody there is gonna follow you.
Right.
Like that's not gonna happen. You can't make people do something.
Realistic.
But on my side, I can post you on my Instagram. I can do your shout outs. I'll put you on my blog. Like I'll do all of this, so you can only promise what you can actually deliver.
Right. Are you good? You need
I'm almost there. I'm a slow sipper.
Girl. Look, I need to sip faster.
Oh shit. So I'm like, I'm a slow sipper. I'm like, what the fuck said?
What are some, have you been burned in the community? Or bad experiences? Not necessarily burned.
Not with any bloggers.
Okay.
It's been more outside.
Vendors, you mean? Or?
No, like it's been outside. It's people that have literally told me like blogging has changed you. I'm like, how has it changed me? And they're like, you're just putting everything on social media. Well, yeah, I mean, and I still like, if you look at my thing, you're like, is this girl single? Is she dating? Like, if you look at my stuff, like, it's not
personal.
It's not that personal. If you really look at my stuff, you watch my stories, then you get a sense of who I am.
Right.
Okay, she's funny. She cusses, like she does this, she does that. But if you just look at my feed, like you probably look at my son and you're like, is that her son or is that her brother? Like I don't,
Yeah.
So I've, have lost friendships, have lost a relationship all through blogging, and that's why I say that like the blogging community understands you so much.
Right.
So by actual bloggers, fortunate enough to say I haven't. By vendors, I haven't. Any vendor that I've said, hey, do you want to work together? Let's do this. It's always been 50-50 and we've executed it perfectly. So I've been blessed enough to say that I haven't been burnt inside the blogging community.
Right.
Yeah. Which is great to say. Like,
Do you feel like when it comes to relationships and friendship, is it because of you're not paying much attention to them, or you're putting a priority on blogging?
I feel like it's a little bit of both. I feel like, you start hanging out with bloggers now. Mm-hmm. And it's not so much like I'm hanging out with you because you have 20,000 followers. It's we understand each other. Yeah. And when you go to so many events, you start to grow a real friendship with these people. Yeah. And like I said, prioritizing. Mm-hmm. So you're going to more events, this is less and less time you have for everyone else. True. So it's one of those things that you have to give and take. Okay. But I
think it has to do too with the fact that when you're on a mission to accomplish something, you want to be surrounded by like-minded individuals, and being surrounded by bloggers. Yeah, everybody wants the same thing.
We all have a goal, and it's to we're all about women empowerment. We're all about
I love it.
Let's promote. And I like just 2 weeks ago, I had like 3 different brands that needed pictures the same week. And I literally messaged one of my friends and I'm like, hey, is there any way that you can get 3 to 4 girls for us to do group shots? They are paying me for this. Like, I'll buy y'all pizza. Like, that's as far as it'll go. And sure enough, like, we had 6 girls taking pictures. They were in their bathing suits. Like, hey, what do you need us to do? Like, that's the kind of support that you get in the blogging community. Yeah. And I've had friends like outside of that, they're so willing to take pictures and stuff like that. So not dogging them, like they've always been there for me, but I can't be there all the time anymore. Right. Like I have prioritized blogging, and it's just because it's something that I love doing. It's something I'm building, and no, you're fine. It's something that I'm building, and at a point I did have to prioritize what made me happy and what I was doing, because I started the blog because I was a young mom. I kind of had to like pause everything, off to college was kind of like, hey, we're going to put that on pause. You just had a baby. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And finally I was like, this is something for me. Because every night people are like, can't believe you say that. I'm like, as a mom, we want to do everything for our children. Right. And it was like, well, once our children grow up, like, where do you stand? Like, what do you have?
Women lose themselves in being a mother.
And that's why I take my son to events, and he tells everybody my mom has 7,000 followers. I'm like, stop. I'm like, shut up. His dad's all like, she
What does she do though?
Yeah.
Stop it, shut up. Here's
my
the food
mom's a blogger. Yeah, so it's like one of those things that I want him to see, like, hey, like if you really put your mind to something, you can really do it.
That's
like,
awesome as a role model too. Like.
I try, and I was talking to his dad today, and I said, look, I know I'm at a lot of events, I'm trying to cut them down. Thank you for stepping up so I can do these things.
Yeah.
But when I can bring him to stuff, like I'll bring him because he was at the blogger workshop out here taking pictures like that. I'm just like, I want him to see like, hey, these people came because they trusted my knowledge, what I've learned,
he sees
and stuff
it.
like that.
I don't think. I mean, he doesn't have to necessarily understand what's really going on.
Yeah.
But I feel like as a kid, you see.
He did. He was like, "Are those all your friends?" And I'm like, "Yes, baby, they're all my friends. Like all of them."
Like, you can picture yourself when you were younger, looking at your parents. You didn't know what they were doing, but you knew they were hustling. You knew they were working for you. I think he's noticed. He notices.
And he's like such a sweet kid that he's always like so proud. Like his dad does embroidery, and he's like, "Oh, my dad can put anything on that shirt." And I'm like, "Boy, calm down." Like, calm down. I know. Like he's so proud of his parents, and that's kind of but it's kind of like I started this for me, but in a sense, like it kind of shows him like, you can do something if you really put your mind into it, but you have to work hard for it. It's just not going to come easy. He's like, "I'm gonna have a Lamborghini when I work up." Okay, you're gonna get a degree to get money for that car. Like it's one of those things that I'm trying to show him. Like, but I do, I'm trying to limit things just because being a mom is 24/7. Like you can't just stop and say, "Oh, here, leave for a week and then let me get stuff done and then I'll come get you."
Yeah.
So.
But it's just, I'm already overwhelmed with the whole being a mother. I'm not even a mother. I've never been close to it. But being a mom, having not even a 9 to 5, you're doing 7:30 to 5:30. How do you, what made you want to get into it in the first place?
My pictures.
Or
what made it so that I'm like, I'm gonna invest my time in this?
Yes, because one thing is to take pictures, another thing is to showcase other things around Houston. But that's a hobby to many people.
Yeah. I think it's all the people that I met. Okay. The people that I met throughout the way,
I can see that.
the friendships, the relationships, the partnerships that I built. It's kind of like, there's times where I want to throw in the towel. Like, when my ex and I broke up, and he was like, the blog took a toll on our relationship. It made me think like, is this gonna be an issue in any relationship that I have?
Looking back, did it really?
Yes and no. Okay. I feel like
it was a catalyst or something.
I was focused on getting that picture. I was focused on, okay, it's date night, but can we stop by this event first? So it's kind of like, okay, where's the give and take? Okay. And it was like, I've always asked, like, hey, is this an issue? Hey, is this a problem? And at this point, like, I've asked myself, would I have stopped if he was just like, yes, this is a big problem? And I don't feel like I would have stopped because it was something that I was building, and
you were honest.
Yeah, and after we broke things off, he's like, look, I'm really proud about what you're doing and what you're building. It wasn't for him, and which is fine. Like, hey, good luck. Like, you're gonna do great things, but this is something that I'm doing for myself, and I'm getting paid for it now. And who's gonna say no to that money that you've been working so hard, like to get there? And I'm like, it's a give and take. You have fun. You seem to feel like you belong somewhere, like in the community. You're making money, and at the end of the day, you're having fun at the end of the day. So I feel like I think we've talked about this subject with other guests that we've had. The right people will just fall into place. Yeah. And the wrong people filter themselves out when you do what you want to do. Yeah. And that's what's happened. I've slowly seen like people just kind of trigger, but then there's people that come in. There's people that I went to elementary school and middle school that they've reached out and they're like, girl, you're out here, A-Leaf proud, like making us look good, like you're doing something, like, no. I'm gonna be the only girl on this channel who threw a good, No, they're on the first time. Oh, that's funny. No. You got it. That was, you got to. But,
they started losing followers before he had any.
I know. No, but it's just one of those things. Like, when people reach out and they're like, girl, I see you out here hustling. I see what you're doing. It's amazing. Like, why stop? Right. Yeah. Like, why stop? I just feel like it's just beginning, and I'm, turning 30 in a couple weeks, whoop whoop. I feel like the 30s are your new 20s, so I've heard, I'm hoping. So for my 30th, people are like, oh, what are we gonna do? Let's go big. And I'm like, I wanna get back to charity. Like, there's no reason for me to be greedy with what I can do, and that's I think that's what I love about what I'm able to do, is I can give back.
The opportunities.
Yeah, you have the opportunities to give back, and it's like I don't like being a greedy person. And if I can have fun with my friends on my 30th birthday and raise money for a charity, why not do it?
It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's an amazing mindset. That's one thing that the blogger closet, I was surprised, and not only was everybody pitching in to do something, but it was for a charity.
Yeah.
That was the last thing I learned.
I think it was Chloe's closet.
What?
I believe it was Chloe's closet, and I don't want to lie. I think it's they give clothes to women that like. I don't know, but literally it was like regardless of how much you sell and stuff, 15% of that is going to that charity. You're not keeping all of it. Like, this is why they were doing it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That really blew me away, like I said, because in my head I'm like, you have to be making some kind of money for you, not only to sell items, but then to give it to charity.
Yeah.
You know, everybody was putting in time, effort, and it looked like hard work.
I mean, and the girls that put it together, they had to reach out to these companies like, hey, can we use your space? And a lot of these places that we do it, they're sponsored. Like, we don't pay the venue. And, you know, they have to put a lot of trust in you. And stuff like that. Like, working with bars, like, I have to, you know, kind of guarantee them, like, hey, you're gonna have at least 50 people here. They're gonna be buying stuff. I'm gonna do a bar spin with my sponsors, so like, you'll get money at the end of the day, so it's a trade. Fine, I'll give you the space, but we need the people to come in.
Right.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So when it comes to venues or locations, bars, events, are there contracts involved?
Case by case.
Okay.
Some, depending on...
You prefer it that way? Like, do you prefer to have them or not to have them?
I personally don't like contracts.
Okay.
It's just because
you never know what's gonna happen.
You never know what's gonna happen. If you fail to deliver, it's kind of one of those things. When it comes to content creating and working with brands, they'll send you a contract, and it's basically just to cover their end and for us to kind of follow through.
Okay.
So there's times where you tell a company, yeah, I'll do that for you.
Like expectations mostly?
Yeah, expectations, like, hey, you'll have this post out. Like today, per my contract, I have a picture that I need to post tonight.
Okay.
So that's how they keep you kind of held accountable.
Right. Which is playing it safe.
Yeah. I mean, because they can either not pay you, but then also it kind of like, if you don't post on time, like, they have somebody they report to. So if you don't do your job, they get in trouble and they have to report to somebody there, and it doesn't fall back on the blogger, it falls back on the company that hired you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So touching on that, like, you mentioned that some of them reach out to you.
Yeah.
But how do you start getting sponsorships? Like, one of the things, like, I guess kind of a fan of, not really, but of Austin Eastsiders.
Oh, that's my number one sponsor.
Like, that's an awesome sponsor to have. I mean, it's a good drink. And
what's that?
So it's cider.
Oh,
do you know what cider is?
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, because I don't drink beer, so I like to look cool with the can, and I love cider. I love anything sweet, and cider is, they first started with like apple, and now they have like watermelon, pine. I mean, it's so good.
It's a brand?
Yeah, Austin Eastsiders.
Austin Eastsiders?
Okay.
Yeah, and they
play on words with
yeah.
the Eastsiders.
Got it.
Yeah, it's
But
really good.
Refreshing. It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the question?
Like, how did that come about? I mean,
I reached out to them for my blog-iversary. So with them, I pitched them, and I messaged them on Instagram. Hey, I love your stuff. I'm having an event. Do you have a Houston rep I can contact? And some companies will respond, some don't. And Austin Eastsider was like, hey, yeah, this is your contact. So I was like, cool, awesome. And I just messaged them like, hey, I'm doing a blog-iversary. I'm a Houston blogger. I love to cover all things Houston, Texas. I literally sent them 2 pictures of me like naturally drinking it, like just to show like I legit like your stuff.
Right.
You know, if there's any way that we can work a sponsorship out for you to provide drinks for my event, like I greatly appreciate it. I always ask them, what are your thoughts? Is this something you would want to work with? And sure enough, they respond, and now they're at all of my events.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We've been trying to get in touch with Specs because
Because, you know.
we get points.
Yeah, I mean, I have my points to back it up. I've been doing it for so long.
You're like, look, okay, look. I'm a loyal customer.
It's a long row of receipts, but
Okay, so if they don't reach out to you, you reach out to them, and
Yeah.
like you said, not everybody responds.
No,
But
so that's something that it's a 50-50. They're gonna respond or they're not.
Yeah.
They're gonna say yes or they're gonna say no.
shoot your shot.
I always go in thinking that they're gonna say no, and people are like, "Why? That's negative thinking." No, I'm not somebody that's gonna set myself up for failure. It's kind of like when I go to a job interview. Even if I think it went amazing, I'd be like,
Right.
I don't know, because if I don't get it, I'm the one that's disappointed, and then you start
Right.
thinking you get hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
So anytime I pitch a brand, or I'm like, man, I really want to work with this person, I go in thinking, oh, they're probably gonna say no, but let me try.
Right.
So when they say yes, I'm like ecstatic. Like with friends and company, I'm like, they're probably gonna say no, but let's try it. And sure enough, because I've been there before, I've tagged them. They're like, oh, you know what? We think we've actually seen her blog.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, what do you want to do? And I'm like, shit, I wasn't ready for this part. Like, I thought you were gonna say no.
you said
Like,
yeah.
oh damn.
What can I do?
Yeah, like, hold on, let me get my details out. Yeah.
So one thing that I know that we talked with a couple of the bloggers there at the Closet event, and we were getting to know with what the title of blogging is. Like one of them was saying that blogger, the title blogger is actually not really blogger, like going on a website, writing an article.
What it used to be.
Right.
A
Yeah.
blogging
Now
page.
it's kind of umbrella
Yeah.
lifestyle, everything.
Kinda. So if that's where it's different from influencers and bloggers, at least in my opinion.
Okay.
An influencer is somebody that they influence you on social media with pictures, with their stories and stuff. A blogger to me has a website.
Right.
Like if you go www.PattyTellsAll.com, I have a blog where I write. I may only do it once a month, but I'm writing on there. I have an actual website, and not everyone does.
Yeah.
Right.
And before it was kind of like you had to have one.
Yeah, and that's like what she was saying right now. Like that's what we remember, and that's what they were saying.
Yeah.
Like, it used to
No,
be
you don't
had
always
to.
have to have one, but for me, I would say, okay, well then you're an influencer. Because to me, a blogger is somebody that actually has a blog. But some people, like, it just kind of, it's your perception of it.
Right.
There's no right or wrong. Like, there's not a law that's like, well, you don't have a website, you can't call yourself a blogger. Like, if you want to call yourself, you know, do it. For me, I always say I am a blogger because I have my website. I do write on it. I do get people or companies that are like, hey, we'd love for you to write about us.
So you have your foundation as a blogger.
Yeah.
That's what the
But most of my business comes from Instagram, social
Right.
media,
Okay.
on the influencer side.
and the influencer side. Yeah.
Okay. Because it's more what's now trending.
Yeah, what's trending, what's new, what's coming out, what do we want to bring hype about?
Do you keep track of the traffic? How
I have
Size of
to.
it?
do you see where it comes from? Like I'm guessing you're
So
very active on your blog.
on my blog, I can see down to the country whether they were directed there through
Instagram,
Instagram, or if they Googled me,
Okay.
or if it was the emails that I send like a month.
Where do you see the traffic coming from the most?
Instagram.
Okay.
Instagram is where 75% of my traffic comes from.
Wow.
Because it's more visually in focus.
Yeah.
You know?
And people can, you know, there's a link, boom, you're there.
And do you have I guess revenue coming in through your blog, through your website?
It's sometimes.
Okay.
It's honestly, the last time I did was in April. And now we're what, September?
Yeah.
So my blog has turned more into my recaps for all of my events, because I love for people to be like, oh man, I saw those pictures from the event. Where was that from? So I want people to go in and like look at the vendors that I use and stuff like that. Or if there's like, I want to showcase the top 10 burgers I like, I'm not getting paid. Like I'm going out there, I'm eating my own burgers and I'm posting like about it. So like the blog has not brought a lot of revenue. But there's people, like there's companies that want to just know that you have a blog.
Right.
Like if we want the option for you to post about, like to write about us, can you do it?
Right.
So it's 50-50. Like it just really
It's up to your
depends.
preference.
Yeah.
Okay. And if it's up to your preference, and if the companies you're working with want you to have the
I always
website.
consider bloggers for blogging almost like diary-ish.
Okay.
You know?
I mean, depending on what you write about.
Especially back in the day. You know,
Oh, yeah.
You had subscribers to your blog, and it would be random things, either personal,
Like how you feel, what you're going
what you've been
through.
through, yeah.
And now it's like brands and your
Right.
style, what you're wearing. I mean, fashion bloggers make a buttload of money. They make a buttload of money because there's this, it's called Like to Know It. And basically you link your entire outfit. So say I link this, you're like, I like that, you go through my link and I'll get a percentage of the sale on this.
Right.
And if once you have a buttload of followers and stuff and people are like loving your outfits,
It adds up.
that adds up. I mean, there's bloggers that do this full time that make 6 figures.
Right. Well, I mean, we had a mentor, Melvin, as a photographer. He was telling us how the fastest way to get income through website.
through Amazon affiliates.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, are you familiar with it? Like,
I am.
He touched base on it a little bit, but
I mean, I am. I'm not a part of it just because I don't focus on fashion. And if you like my outfit, I'm just gonna tell you I got it at Target. Like it's from Target. Like, you know, I'm just gonna tell you where I got it. If I was doing this full time, I would take full advantage of all of that. It takes time for you to link everything because if they don't have it in stock, if you still want to make money, you need to find a company that has a dupe or something very similar, and that's how you can make money.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that. Like, I really have time for what I'm doing now. Like, and for me to try to like, let me link all of my outfits. No, I get dressed once a day, sometimes once a day, and like I don't want to link it. If you ask me, hey, where are your shoes from? Like today, I finally posted, hey, half of this outfit is from one place. Go check it out. Use my code, get 10% off. Like, you know what I mean? So
I would hate to be like having to always have a different outfit. Like sometimes I'm like, I'm just gonna use this again.
I think it was, I did a photo shoot with this photographer. Within 45 minutes, I had changed 6 times already for pictures. And it was 2 o'clock on a Saturday. It was hot. The last thing I had to put on was yoga pants.
Lord.
I could barely get those things on because I was like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, that's how you do it. That's how you get more bang for your buck because I can shoot 6 outfits in an hour and then I have my content for 2 weeks.
But is there a lot of pressure? I think going back when his question was, you would run out of. I mean, I'll put it like this: if I'm gonna post a picture of a bomb outfit that I have on Instagram, in my head, I can't wear this shit outside because everybody already saw it on Instagram.
Yeah.
So is there a lot of pressure when it comes to that?
For fashion bloggers, I think so.
So for me,
I feel like I wear these all the time, and I'm like, they're my favorite shoes. Like, they're my shoes. Like, but I don't focus on fashion. If I did, and there's even times now that I'm like, crap, I wore this twice.
Right.
And the guy I'm talking to is like, he wears the same shit every day. I'm just like, what does it matter? Like, you look great in that. And I'm like, but I already photographed in it.
Yeah.
I was like, so we're not gonna take pictures today. He's like, all right, girlfriend. Like, do you? Like, there is like, if I wear something or like I'll kind of space it out where I don't post it back to back because I mean we're all human like and sometimes we call each other out. We're just like, hey, we're wearing it again. It's so comfortable. Like it's just what we have to stay. And I think that's what draws people in is we have to stay as authentic, as real as possible because people will see through the bullshit, read through the bullshit, and if you're telling everybody like, oh, I never repeat my outfit. It's like, come on now, like. But photographing, like if you look on my page, I try not to repeat outfits, at least in different scenarios. So like if I'm at one event, I'm not gonna wear that same outfit for another one because I know I'm gonna get photographed.
Right.
And if I post it, I'll be like, well, then they're gonna be like, that girl only has that one shirt. Like, so there is some pressure. I mean, and especially for fashion bloggers.
Yeah.
Like that's something like I can't do. I mean, I could probably do it, but it's just I'd have to do it full time.
But you're doing it because you want to do what you're enjoying, not.
I'm enjoying it. I love the friends and the networking.
Do it full time?
So I quit. I was working for a construction company. I quit, and I was like, I'm gonna do this full time. I mean, and it was great. I was able, because there's a lot of events during the day, and I was never able to go. I could, I didn't like asking for time off to go to like an event to get, anything. So I started going to these events, but like I miss getting ready for work. Like I miss corporate America. So is it possible? Yeah, but it wasn't for me.
Okay.
It definitely was not for me. Like I like going to work. Maybe I've always said I could do it part-time, like work part-time and then do blogging full-time, but mentally I need to know that I have a stable income.
Yeah.
So.
That's very me.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like I've had different types of jobs, different industries, but I feel like in every job, as interesting as it could have been, as I like being physical as it was, in my head, I just envisioned, like I saw, the me that I saw was behind a desk.
Yeah.
And I would think the way.
And everybody tells me, they're like, you should not be behind a desk. I'm like, yes, I should.
Yes, I should. I thrive in it. Just thinking, like, I'm like, oh, I do miss that job, or I did thrive in that job, but I did. I'm like, but this is what I wanted. Like,
I did marketing for Topgolf, and for the longest time, I'm like, I'm gonna do marketing. And then
it
once
actually does fit you well. I totally see you.
Everybody tells me that, but you know what? I like being an admin. I love doing like the technical side of things. I like being behind a desk. I like being on a computer.
You still got some Topgolf coupons?
We talk later. Okay, we'll talk later. But yeah, so I enjoy working, but it's not for everybody.
So this is really just like a hobby, like a fun.
In a sense, it's like a hobby, but it's also like a brand that I'm trying to build. And people are like, well, what's your long-term goal? And I'm like, look, I'm just trying to get to the end of the month. Like, I am just trying to figure out my life, and I do things so short notice. Like,
this was agreed on yesterday.
Yeah, right? And when you told me, and I was like, you're like, okay, see you tomorrow. I'm like, tomorrow's Wednesday. Like, Wednesday. But you said Wednesday, and to me, that was like 2-3 days from now.
No, and it threw us off because of the Monday. Like even.
So I thought I had an extra day.
Yeah.
But it worked out. That's why I was like, I have time to find some place. They're like, did you find out where? I'm like, I thought we had 48 hours to find this out.
No, that was it, because I was sitting there and I was like, wait a minute. That's tomorrow. We haven't even agreed to wear it. And that's why I sent the message. And we were thrown off completely.
It was real quick. I'm like, Montreal Studio.
I was, again, shout out to her, because this was awesome that she let us borrow this place. The layout she has here is awesome.
It's amazing. And right now it's turning over to slowly, we're going to do fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I say we because now what Montreal Studios is doing is they want to work with bloggers, influencers, people out of the community. Basically, if you want to showcase your stuff, then you can do it, and then just volunteer your time here, paint, clean, help set up new things, and you can use this space here. So it's kind of like you're volunteering, but in exchange you get to use the space, which is amazing. And even her price is to rent this out. And one day I rented it out for 8 hours, and it was not a lot. Like I'm like, girl, how are you making your money? Like it's not expensive, but she wants people to come in, and it's such a cute space.
Yeah. And then how she has so many different themes.
And there's so much you can do to here. She's had vendors in here. She's had a market, a pop-up, photo sessions, graduation stuff, a podcast. Everything you can think of. I've hosted my workshop here. There's so much that you can do here.
And you were touching base on that earlier as far as your workshop. It was a success, which congrats to you. That's awesome.
Thank you. It was nerve-wracking. I'm like, well, what if I talk too much? What if they're like, I didn't learn anything. Like I was so nervous going into it, and I don't show that I'm nervous. And that morning I text my boyfriend, I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
So let our viewers know what was the workshop on?
So it was a blogger beginner workshop.
Okay.
So it's basically whether you already have a blog or you want to start a blog, kind of how to get started.
Okay.
Because it was basically everything I wish I knew before I started. Because you learn so much so there. Every day you learn more. You meet new people and stuff, and you're like, oh wow, I didn't think about doing it that way. I never thought about pitching brands that way. And everybody does it different. I have a friend that pitches brands she pitches at least 15 brands a week. And I'm like, I do that in a year. Like,
you do that like full time? Is that
no, it's not even her full-time job.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, it was one of those things like, there's really no actual way to start your blog, but if you can have a guide, and that's what I did. I like spent like weeks trying to put this packet together because there's so much that I'm like, I don't have 2 hours to really explain it. So here's a packet, and I'm gonna kind of highlight what I really think is important, what I wish I knew. And a lot of people are like, how can I make money?
Yeah.
Like that was everybody's number. How can I make money?
So since you did that, if you don't mind, like giving like somebody that's watching right now a little crash course, what would be like the top 3 or 5?
Or the date for your next workshop.
Well, somebody asked me that today, and I'm like, girl, I'm still trying to plan my life. I'm thinking the end of the month or beginning of October.
The end of the month?
Yeah, and it might be here. So I'm definitely trying to get that up. You know, people, and it wasn't so much like I need the money, I need to do this. It was just one of those things that people like. People that I work with, that they were like, do not do this for free. Like, do not do it for free. At least charge, because you're taking your time. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to charge a lot. This is what I'm going to do. And it was kind of like, I tell them, like, look, these are the websites that I recommend. These are the ones that are free. This is like, I use Squarespace. I have to pay for mine.
Right.
So I thought long term when I started my blog, and I'm like, if I'm going to go in, I'm going to go all in. But if you're still kind of like, I don't really know, you know, use Wix or Bloggerspot. Those are free. Okay. So with stuff like that, and it was kind of like when commenting on pictures, do not use emojis. Like if you're, you know, don't just put like 3 heart emojis. Like don't do that. Like
you gotta go delete our comments.
But it was like, you know, because companies, you know, I told you companies look at engagement. And it was like how to pitch a brand. You know, it's like.
Can I put a thumbs up? Yes, I am real.
Yup. As long as there's some words in there that it doesn't seem like it's a robot. Okay. Because you can. There's companies that like will literally like reach out to me, gain 5,000 followers. I'm like, okay, but are they real people? Like, or there's robots and they're just thumbs up.
So
thumbs up.
That's I guess a very good key point right there would be. Discourage, like you said, followers from doing that, because at the end it hurts.
It hurts you. Like somebody can easily go look at your followers and see if they're real followers or not. And I mean, there's companies that are making money off of selling fake followers. And a fake follower is just a robot, is just a fake profile. And companies are going to look at that and they're not going to want to work with you. Right. Companies are looking at that. One of my partnerships is with Taco Cabana. So I asked her, I'm like, hey, is there anything that you would recommend me tell them? As in, when they ask, what are companies looking for? And one of the things she said was real engagement. Yeah. They don't want to see a thumbs up on all your pictures. They want people to be like, hey, where did you get that? I really like that. Or, hey, love your shirt. I love the way you styled it. That's what they're looking for. They're not looking for who has 1 million followers anymore.
Right. That's good.
Question. Do you feel like the use of social media for blogging has taken away from the personal aspect of social media for you?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing for you?
It's 50-50.
Okay.
There's sometimes that like I take a good selfie with my son or with my man. I'm like, I'm gonna post it, but I'm like, oh, but it doesn't really fit what I'm doing today. And there's times where I won't post a picture. So that, for me, my personal is Facebook.
Okay.
That's my outlet to post pictures of Elijah, to post, you know, whether I'm in a relationship, whether my mom and I are out here doing this or what I'm doing. I gravitate towards Facebook with that, just because a lot of things that I'm doing, like on my personal life, don't fit the brand.
Right.
So, I mean, my Instagram, if you look at it, like, it's me, but behind all of that, like, I still am trying to show people the best of the best.
Right.
And I've told people that. I'm like,
you're marketing yourself.
Yeah, I'm marketing myself. And I've always told people, like, I am an open book. So if you message me and you ask me something, I'm going to be straight up with you. And I'm just like, this is who I am. But a lot of times I can't post every single thing, or like I look at memes and I'm like, oh, there's like that meme that was like, man, when you see a meme and it's really you, but you don't want people to judge you, so you don't post it. That's me. I see a meme and I'm like, that's hilarious. Oh, I'm not gonna post it. So I'm just gonna screenshot it and send it to 3 people that are gonna be like, yeah, bro, that's you. And it's just because you do have somewhat of an image to keep on there. And if brands are looking, some brands don't want to see me in my pajamas. Like, they don't want to see. So I use my stories also to be a little more personal. But on my feed, it's as professional as I can get it, to still being authentic to myself.
So I guess touching a little bit on that and personal. Is there a vacation? Like, do you have a time set where you're like, all right,
I haven't done it in a year and a half. I haven't stopped.
I think you're due for one.
Huh?
I think you're due for a vacation.
I don't know. I have so much shit coming out.
You guys should know because
what I was getting at with that, sorry, is like, let's say you do. Let's say 3 months from now, you're gonna go take a trip to Hawaii.
Oh, that's the best content. Like,
that's exactly what I'm about to say. Like, wait a minute, are you still gonna create?
So I went to the Dominican Republic in April. April. So I did tell myself, I'm not gonna be on my phone all day. I'm gonna wake up, and before I hit the water, I'm gonna get my picture. I got my picture, and then I didn't worry about it. That's how I disconnect. As long as I get my picture, then we're good.
So you feel like,
but I've never gone. Yeah, because I feel like if I'm on vacation, that's another thing I can talk about. I can tell. Like, whenever I posted pictures from when I went to the Dominican, I hashtagged the resort I stayed in and stuff. And I've had people that have searched the resort, like, hashtag, and have literally messaged me and be like, hey, I'm going there in 3 weeks. How was the room? How was the food and stuff? So it was like another way for people, like another way to get out there. So I haven't disconnected. Maybe during the holiday. Oh, holidays are so good though. Like, it's just, there's like times for everything, and I really should. But it's that FOMO. You get that FOMO, like, and there's times where if lately now I'm posting 4, 5, 6 times a week.
I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. What is that?
Fear of missing out.
Oh, okay.
You're like, this bitch keeps saying FOMO. I don't know what that means. I'm just going to nod my hand. Yeah, FOMO is fear of missing out. So we get a lot of FOMO. Like, if like somebody doesn't get invited to an event, or if you couldn't make it and you see all your friends, you're like, I am completely missing out.
Well, the event, the Boss Babes event, he really made me feel bad. I was out of town. I was in Vegas with my family.
Which event?
Oh, really?
For the Boss Babes one.
They have another one? Oh.
But he gave me a hard time. He was like, you should have been there. There were so many people, so much potential.
The HX Boss Babes are
so much fun.
Are 2 ladies, Elise and Gabby. Gabby is actually doing one in October. You'll have to go. It's a sweet like pan dulce pop-up. Yeah, so it's gonna be really good.
How can vendors, because for example, yesterday we interviewed somebody who's just starting off, and she's doing a kitchen. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Tamales.
Oh, I saw that. Oh yeah, they saved them. No, okay. It's okay.
There were 4.
That's why I didn't bring pupusas.
You wanted all 4 of them.
Yeah, she had to fight for her too.
Really?
Yeah.
So how can they find about these events?
Yeah, like how can somebody who wants to get into that?
You'd have to start following the people that throw these events. I mean, like I said, I support HTX Boss Babe so much because of what they do, and they will post about upcoming events, and they'll do like vendor call, like, hey, we're looking for vendors. That's what Gabby with Miradela is doing right now. She's like, she has a couple open spots and she's posted on her page. So it's like you kind of have to follow these people, or like search Houston market, Houston pop-ups, find out who's putting those together, find out when their next one is. So that's the only way, is you have to start going to these pop-ups, see who's behind it, who's putting these together, and then reaching out and be like, hey, I went to your event, I loved it, I'd love to be a part of your next one, please let me know. So
I found a lot of different Houston events around town by just what people post when they tag themselves in them, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, like K-pop Sunday Festival or every like third Sunday they have.
Is it the vintage hip hop one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I really love that one. There's like the farmers market one. They have different locations.
Sawyer's.
Yes.
It's just popped up just 2 a year. Now Mirada's doing hers. And
what is it? And I click on it, and the next thing you know, it's like not only do you see the events and who's throwing them, but the different types of sponsors and different.
Yeah, and there's another one. I went to a pop-up. It was a pop-up market. Like it was called the official brunch market or something like that. It was at Pitch 25, and they just announced that they're doing one at the end of the month. So you just have to find out who's throwing these, who is behind this pop-up,
Right.
How can I get in, and just message them. They have space, like they're gonna tell you like, okay, well, what do you do, what you know, and stuff like that, and if it fits what they're doing, they'll have you come on out.
Yeah.
Is there a specific vendor or blogger that kind of gave you that big step up, you feel?
State Line Design.
Really?
Yes, Elise. It was funny. I was telling somebody this the other day. I was like, Elise
I really like their
was
stuff.
the first person to make me a brand ambassador.
Okay.
And a brand ambassador, basically, you represent their stuff. They either give you a discount code, give you 2 shirts a month, take pictures of it, and you tag them. They can use your pictures. She was the first person to do it. And State Line Designs in Houston, like everybody knows who that is.
Yeah.
And she was one of the people that gave me a chance.
Okay.
And people started following me because she was posting my picture of a shirt. They really liked that picture, and they were coming to me. And if you like what you see, you stay. And that's at least like State Line Design was definitely one of the people that like had like believed in me, and she was just like, I like what you're doing, you rocking my shirts, like let's make you a brand ambassador.
I'll tell you what, and it's kind of what I saw right now on the phone. Ever from the moment that we asked a question for people to send questions in, like we've gained 3 followers just the fact that we're having you.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
That's
But
pretty cool.
yeah, so it shows that the following that you have, people
Yeah.
enjoy what you put out.
I mean, and there's times, and that's why I tell people, do not promise that people are gonna come looking, or gonna come follow and stuff like that. But people do remember,
Yeah.
and they may reach out to me, hey, what was that podcast that you were doing or stuff, and then they'll listen to it. That's why I tell people, you can't overpromise, but people do watch, people do listen. There's people that just do this. They scroll, and then when they need something, they'll remember, and they're like, hey, what was this about, and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's always a give and take with everything, but it's what you're willing to put out there and how authentic you can be.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I feel like I got the major questions out.
Yeah?
So I want to ask, I guess my favorite questions. I'm gonna take it tonight.
There's 3 questions three questions that we ask every guest.
Okay.
He took the first one yesterday.
What was it? Oh, what was it?
What is your song of the moment that defines your life right now?
Oh, shit.
Like there's a song that you put on every morning, as of lately, or pumps you up on a bad day.
Truth Hurts by Lizzo. I'm 100% that bitch, okay? Like, that song.
It just reminded me because like we played that song at the closet event. And all of y'all just
everybody starts getting high.
all of y'all just started
It
getting
was very proper, and then the song came on, and the twerking started.
I mean, y'all know Lizzo is from A-Leaf.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she went to Elsa High School. So, I mean,
She's your hermana now.
I'll say I would that's probably it. Like, that hypes me up. That puts me in a good mood. If I'm like in a bad mood, and I do that. I'm a moody person. I tell you, I'm really moody. That song just hypes me up. Like, if I'm about to go somewhere and like I decided halfway there I don't want to go, I'm like, I'm gonna turn on that song and I'm like, I'm hyped, like I'm ready, let's go. It changes, it completely changes my mood.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is that? I wish I could tell you like Vicente Fernandez. It's Lizzo.
It's a funny song because at first I was like, it's such a basic song.
Yeah.
But then when you're actually listening to it and to put the music on
I mean, it pumps you and you're like, I'm that bitch. Fuck you. Like, I got this. Like,
I've been in that mood where like, this song again. But then they start singing and everybody's singing, so you're like singing along.
Oh yeah, it gets you happy. It makes you happy.
So
I'm gonna try to think of other songs. I really don't have one.
So another question that we have is, what's your go-to meal? Like, what's your go-to cheat, or what's your favorite food?
I love Colombian food.
Okay.
I love Colombian food. So
Is there a plate?
la bandeja paisa, which is literally, I'm a carnivore, so I love meat. So it has arroz, frijoles, a fried egg, a slice of avocado, like a beefsteak, chicharrón, and a chorizo.
Damn.
Yeah, and you can get it for like $12.99. Like, it is so good. Oh, and frijoles.
Where's a spot here in Houston that you get that?
Oh man, there's so many. There's La Olla. There's
Your mouth is watering, girl. I heard it.
There's La Olla. There's Paisa Twins. There's La Fogata. La Fogata is a really, really good one. It's on 59 in Wilcrest. And there's one in Katy that I absolutely love called La Palmacera. Like, there's so many Colombian joints. It's so
I
good.
thought you were gonna name one spot. No,
No, like, let me know. Like, I should
what
go
side of
find
town you
one.
on? All right.
No, for real. Let me know what side of town, and I'll recommend one. But I think my all-time favorite one is the one in Katy, which is Palma de Cera. You know, they're locally owned. The owners are amazing, and their food is legit. Like, I go in there and like. It's like food coma. It's so good. Like, they look at me and they're like, you don't eat all that?
You drive there, but you gotta get it Uber home.
Pretty much, because you're full.
I'll pick up my car tomorrow.
The same plate, miss?
Yeah, you walk in there and know.
No, they do. Like, the lady, if I go there for lunch and I don't meet I'm like, yes, thank you.
The patty special.
Yeah.
Hey, for real, you should get an item named after you.
I'll let them know.
Okay.
I'm like, look,
I'm a
I gave
food
you a shout out.
blogger. Okay.
I know, I did tell them, I'm like, you know, I'm a food blogger. He's like, and they're like a little chain. They're like, hey, so I'm like,
I guess
like,
look at me.
all right, never mind. I'll eat. Thank you.
Third question would be, what's your drink of choice for today?
Oh, Tito's cranberry. Oh, not Tito's, vodka cranberry.
Vodka cranberry.
I used to be a little bougie, so I'm like, only Tito's and Grey Goose. Now I'm like, if it hits the spot, it hits the spot. It's gonna be vodka
Were
cranberry.
you happy with our choice?
Oh, I love Deep Betty.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please sponsor me. Please.
We used
Yeah, there you
Tito
go.
in the past.
An unofficial sponsor today.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tito. I mean, Deep
Yeah,
Betty.
we were
Why
gonna-
can't I go?
We were gonna go with Tito's because I was like, okay, that's the norm. But I had just
Well,
recently
Deep
tried,
Betty, their
It's
distillery is in Austin.
just like Tito's, right?
Oh, duh. Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I completely forgot. Yeah.
how much?
How much are they paying you, girl?
Right? No, I'm like, come on, sponsor me. Yeah, Deep Betty's really good. So
It's
I like
smooth.
vodka though. Like I'm a vodka girl. If there's no vodka, then I'll do ciders, which is Austin ciders. Y'all aren't paying me to say this, but it's not.
But if y'all want to pay us, it's more than
Okay,
welcome.
come on. But
Hey,
yeah.
what, give us your contact or
You said work for it. That's funny.
I'll go ahead and throw out another question.
Yeah.
Who would you like to see on here? Who would you call out to be our guest on our podcast?
Miradela, which is Gabby.
Gabby?
I feel like she's
She's right there.
Huh?
She's right there.
Oh, ew. No, she's amazing. Like, the things that she does in the community with HEX Crossbase, Miradela, with the new pop-up she's doing, like, she needs to be here. People need to know what she does because she's amazing.
So she does more than just vlogging, is that what you're saying?
No, she's not even a blogger. Like,
No?
she's an entrepreneur, and she's kicking ass around Houston.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's Latina, so obviously serious on my heart. She loves conchas, so like she's amazing. Y'all need to have her.
Okay.
All right.
We're definitely gonna reach out and
Yeah.
try to get her on here.
He touched base with this next question that I have, but I'm still curious. I want to, I guess, go back to it.
You said 3, right?
Yeah, we did
Anyway.
today, but
It's number
and
five.
no, but because he already asked.
Nobody's
the question.
counting, but
When it comes to maybe 5-year plan would be too long from now because you're only 2 years in. But is there where do you see yourself in the upcoming future?
it's so crazy because I recently talked to somebody about this, and they're like, "Do you see yourself doing this long term?" And I'm like, as long as the blogging and marketing is in social media while it's hot and the money's there, I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
I think because everything changes.
What will be the kill zone?
What do you mean?
Like
What would make you want to?
the one change I would say, nah, it's not for me no more anymore. Right?
I think
Because you make your own.
honestly,
time.
I think if my son were to ever tell me, I want you at home more or I need you more, I'll drop everything. But while the brands are coming, the money is coming, and I'm having fun and meeting great people, and I can balance it all, I mean, I'm gonna keep doing it.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. It's a great answer.
Thanks.
Is there anything else you'd like to showcase or talk about?
I think the only thing is I talked about it a little bit. I'm doing a charity birthday bash social at Present Company September 21st. It's a Saturday. It's from 2 to 4. It's donation based. Like I'm asking for $10 for donation. 100% of the proceeds are going to kids meals in Houston. I volunteered there a couple weeks ago with my son. Fell in love with it, and I have a soft spot for kids, and I love to eat. So knowing that they're feeding children is amazing.
Yeah.
So I can't always volunteer my time, but if I can raise money. So I'm gonna have raffles, we're gonna have a photo booth, we're gonna have some good drinks, we're gonna have Stella's.
So it's open for public.
It's open for everybody. A lot of my events are private and to bloggers. This is an open event for absolutely everybody. I have a link on my PattyTellsAll Instagram that you can get tickets, and I'm asking for at least $10 donation, and it should be a lot of fun. Present Company is a hip, cool spot in Houston.
Where's it at?
It's off of Westheimer in Montrose.
Okay.
A really, really cute spot, and like that's the hot spot right now. So
does it work as in it's only the donations that go into the charity, or everything that gets sold between 2 and 4?
So no, so anything that they're buying, bars and stuff, it's not being donated, but that they went ahead and sponsored their space, are letting me do raffles. So I'm selling raffle tickets, $10 to come, and all like 100%. None of that money is going to be put in my pocket. I'm donating all of it.
Is there a way, for example, if somebody's watching and they want to donate but they can't make it out?
I do. I have that because somebody did ask me. They're like, "Hey, I can't make it out." So on there it tells you donation RSVP, which means you want to come, and the other one says donation only, can't attend. Okay. And I mean, there's somebody yesterday that donated $50. That don't mean that's the wrong business. Don't use the universe. That donated $50.
No, somebody watching is gonna go ahead and do it. Watch.
I hope so.
Okay, so we'll make sure and include that link into the description.
That'll be fun. I mean, it's gonna be a good time. So, I mean, who doesn't want to drink and give back?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm turning 30, so.
30? Wait, I thought you said 25.
Yeah, 25, 25. Whatever.
Keep coming. Well, no, we do appreciate it.
I've had a lot of fun.
Good.
We try to keep it as fun as possible.
Yeah.
No, it was a lot of fun.
Cool. So
I could do honestly, I could have done it.
We still got half the bottle left, so we're not getting it.
No, I gotta go. You see my phone blowing up.
I was like, I feel bad. But no. But what we love about doing this is every single person, whatever industry, we all take our time, and it becomes our passion to help each other, especially in the struggle. In the struggle, and the fact that people have their own brands, but they still have a 9 to 5. They still have a family. Life. They still have hobbies. They still have other things going on. And so time is very restricted. So when we first started, we reached out to a couple people, and we didn't have that great response. Yeah. But it was one of those things where like we have to keep in mind that these are busy people.
Yeah.
And the fact that they take time to hang out, because we're really just hanging out.
Yeah, we're talking, hanging out.
We try to make it as best marketing and as fun for them.
No, and it has been like literally. I mean, time's going by, and I'm like, no me quiero ir.
I know.
Now you know what it means. But no, it was amazing. I'm so thankful that y'all asked me and that I'm here.
And last minute rearrangements.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You came in like a boss, man.
I gotta spot. Don't worry about it. Shout out.
Like, man, I can't even pull those strings.
I told her, I was like, I thought she was your friend.
I asked her before, she said no. She didn't say no, but
she was busy at that time.
I mean, it was a quick turnaround. You just said I'll hit you back, and like within
it was 5 minutes,
it was like,
right? Oh no, we got it.
I even told my wife, I was like, she said yes.
Because we've tried.
Marina are really cool, and I've been trying to like do stuff here and
we'll definitely drop links for the Montrose Studio. If you guys need a place to take pictures, she rents it out. Check out the MontroseStudio.com.
Especially right now that we're turning it over to fall, and then for Christmas, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
Take all your Christmas pictures here.
Yeah, I think she even does some of the photography too.
Oh yeah, she's a photographer.
So
and she's a badass editor. She can edit really good.
She took the pictures for my wife when she was I think she was 7 months, and then
didn't she take some engagement pictures here?
Yeah.
Right? You took some.
Yeah, and
or at least you did them here.
Yeah. So we'll include her info in the description below. You guys make sure and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Where can people find you on social media?
On Instagram, it's PattyTellsAll, Patty with a Y. My website's PattyTellsAll.com. Don't look for me on Facebook. I'm boring. So
she's not gonna accept you.
I'll be like, who is this? Who are our mutual friends? No, but it's all Instagram and my website.
Okay.
Nice.
Simple.
Yeah, I keep it as simple as possible.
Nice. Okay. Well, again, thank you.
No, thank y'all.
Thanks, Patty.
All right, we'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks, guys.